Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about the Odyssey by Homer. More specifically, I want to talk about the Emily Wilson translation of the Odyssey. I read this book like last summer for one of my classes, and I wanted to talk about it mostly to roast every single person who is bragging about like having seen the entire world because they went to Troy one time. But I didn't record this video back then, so I'm doing it now. And I'm just gonna get right into it. The Odyssey, if you don't know, is the story of Odysseus, who left his home in Ithaca to go to Troy to fight in the Trojan War. Hold on, I'm crooked. I feel like I'm crooked the other way now. It's okay, it doesn't matter. Basically, after the Trojan War is over, he is trying to get home, but it takes him like a really long time. And this is like the story of like how he gets home basically. The Trojan War lasts 10 years and so does the Odyssey because freaking Odysseus like can't go home, poor thing. So I rated this book 4 stars mostly because of the translation, because I really like the translation. Like if it was a different translation, I'm pretty sure it would have been a lot lower rating because I really like the way that Emily Wilson translates this work. It's compared to like, we did a couple of comparisons with like other translations, and basically what Wilson does is her language is a lot more like easy to understand. It's basically like simple like words. It's not like super poetic, which, you know, I think it like helps like get across the like vibe that probably the original Odyssey that like actually got passed down through the generations had, because, you know, it was like people literally just like memorized it, and I don't really think that people were out here memorizing like big ass words. I don't really think that's what people do. So I think like what would have been like probably like simple like spoken Greek to them at that point in history is like, you know, closer to what, that's the ice cream truck, is closer to what like the way that we see like simple spoken English today, like, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm talking myself in circles because I probably am, but basically it was like simple language instead of super instead of like purple prose, which is what I like about how she decided to translate it. I also think that Odysseus is just like, he just goes around like killing a lot of people and introducing himself. Oh, spoilers for the Odyssey, by the way, but like this story has been around for like thousands of years, so like it's not new. So Odysseus goes around killing a lot of people. He like introduces himself as like, behold, like, it's me, Odysseus, and I'm like the, you know, I'm like, Athena like really likes him because he's smart. So he's just like, yes, like Athena loves me. I have like the support of Athena because I am super clever and everything. And he's like, behold, it's me, Odysseus. I am a trickster. I'd be like, get out of my house, dude. Like, go away, please. Like, who are you? I don't, like, Jesus Christ. Relax, calm down. I just think Odysseus needs to like chill. Athena seems like hot take, I guess, but Athena has like a lot of internalized misogyny. Like, even when she's talking to like mortal men, unless she's like taking the form of a mortal man instead of like taking the form of like a woman, like, unless she's taking the form of a man also, she doesn't like talk down to them. And I'm just like, dude, you're a god, you could like smite the fuck out of them. Why are you like why are you like, what, like, girl? So I guess that has a lot to say about what the Greeks thought women should be like. Circe just wants to fuck. Calypso just wants to fuck. Every like woman Odysseus meets is just like attracted to him. Like, even like super powerful immortal women are like attracted to him, and I'm just like, Okay, I mean, just personally, I think that he's kind of like way too violent, but I guess the Greeks had like different ideas. Telemachus is a wuss. Like the whole book is just people, including his mother, dragging him, which apparently to the Greeks, this is what my professor told me, that apparently to them that was like a big like no. Like as soon as like a boy like got old enough to like run the household or whatever, or like be the head of the household, then like his mother would also like have to listen to him and stuff. But Penelope is just like, Telemachus, you're such a fucking idiot. Why can't you just man up and kill all of the people who keep coming to our house? Because apparently that was like a good thing. I don't know, dude. The ancient Greeks had weird ideas, and honestly, he spends so much time being like, oh no, like all these men like keep coming to my house and I have to be nice to them. And I'm just like, you know, maybe they're right. Like maybe you should just man up and kill all of these men. Like it worked for Odysseus. That's what he does at the end, and everyone loves him for it. So like maybe if Telemachus just like, you know, decided that, hey, I can also like kill people and then killed them, then maybe people would not think he was such a fucking idiot. I also just want to say that like this entire story is so fucking hilarious when you remember the distances that they're talking about. There's this one bit where like Menelaus is there and he's like talking about how he, you know, went to fight in the Trojan War, and he's like, yes, I've like traveled the whole world. I'm like, dude, you went from Sparta to Troy. They're right next to each other. You went from Greece to Turkey. Like, boy, that you traveled in a ship across a bay that at most, like, I think like today with like the technology we have, it should take like 2 days of sailing to get there. I don't know, back then like 10 days max. Like how long did it take you to travel across the shit tiny distance that you traveled across? And you're just like, I've seen the whole world. I am wizened from my journeys. You literally sat outside Troy until freaking Odysseus came up with the stupid horse thing for 10 years. You haven't seen shit. I'm sorry. Just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Like, you're not cool, okay? You're not cool. Also, everyone in the story keeps like mentioning Agamemnon. Like, I'm so sick of hearing about that guy. Everyone's like, oh my god, did you hear about Agamemnon? And I'm just, half the time they don't even say like what about Agamemnon did you hear about? They're just like, oh, like it's so tragic about Agamemnon. And I'm just like, I get it. It's so sad. He dead now. Like, shut up. No one cares. There's this one bit where Telemachus is like, hey, so like what happened to my dad? Because like Menelaus is at Ithaca, and Menelaus just like tells him in his entire life story. He's just like, okay, yeah, this one time I was like stranded on an island. I was like, dude, he asked you if you know what happened to Odysseus. Just say no. Just be like, hey, he like left Troy, but I don't know where he went. Just say that. What are you, like, what? I don't know, dude. These people, they have no chill. There's this one bit where like Menelaus offers someone a gift that was made by like one of the gods, like I think like Hephaestus. Yeah, like Hephaestus made this like bowl and he like offers it to someone as a gift, or he like mentions it or something, and I'm just like, this kid just knows all of the all of the gods. He just knows all of them. He just knows every single one of the gods. He just like, why do you know all of what? Are you like BFS with them or something? Why do you, like, you send them letters, pen pal correspondence? How involved were the gods in like ancient Greece? Like did you just like walk out of the door and it's like, oh, like there's Hestia, it's like sitting over there on that bench, like, hey, what's up? Like, is that how people lived back then? Cause like this is like, I'd be like, okay, yeah, like, you know, like a god or like two gods or I don't know, like something, because they like took an interest in him. But like this bitch literally knows like all of them. He just like casually mentions a bunch of them. He's like talking to Athena and he's like, hey, you're like Athena, and she's like, yeah. And I'm just like, I would die if someone came up to me and was like, hey, I'm Athena. I'd be like, what the fuck you mean you're Athena? Like, proof, first of all. What are you doing on Earth? Why are you even talking to the likes of me, a lowly mortal, when you could be doing something far more interesting? Also, the gods are like so powerful but also useless. I feel so like, I feel like I'm gonna get like smitten by a god. Smitten? Smoked. They're like, oh, we want like Odysseus to get home because like, you know, he like fought in like the Trojan War and he's a great hero and all that. And then they just like don't do anything to help him. I just think that the gods are kind of useless in the story. Like they only kind of, they're there like way too much, especially Athena. She's like constantly there. She keeps like going around and talking to people, but like she doesn't ever do anything that's actually useful or interesting, which I don't know if that's like the Greeks commenting on the gods or the Greeks commenting on women, but either way, she doesn't do much. She also like has to listen to like her dad a lot, and I'm just like, dude, Zeus is like literally like the worst. Zeus literally has like no self-control. Like 99% of problems in Greece were like caused by Zeus not being able to control where he puts his dick because he's stupid. They're not just like, oh, like Zeus is the king of the gods and like we have to deal with this bitch, but like, oh, they like actually are like, yeah, Zeus is like good. And I don't get it. I don't get it. They use godlike a lot. I mean, I guess that's also partially like the translation itself, but like their godlike is used so much, just so much to refer to like humans, and I'm just like, guys, what? How many humans are godlike? Especially Odysseus. They're like his godlike strength, his godlike like cunning, and I'm just like, I'm like, why is everything so like godlike? Like you're not gods for a reason. Like once you make everyone godlike, then it's just like, who here isn't godlike? Well, Telemachus isn't, but like apart from him, like, you know, who isn't a total coward is like not getting the godlike label, because it seems like everyone is. It just makes them all seem like too cool. I don't know, sometimes I feel like there are modern stories that have done the whole like Greek heroes, they're like, you know, being like flawed and that being their downfall thing. I feel like a lot of modern things have done that a lot better than like this. I'm just like angering every single dead person from like this era. Like they're like ghosts are gonna haunt me or something. I also think that Odysseus spends like way too much time whining about shit. There's this bit with Calypso where like he gets like really upset because he doesn't think Calypso is like hot anymore. I don't even know where to start with that one. I mean, like, what? This is your hero? Ancient Greek people? Why do you like him? He's so stupid and useless. I mean, he's like cunning and stuff, but like, at what cost? There's this one bit where Alcinous, I think that's how you say his name, he's like to Odysseus, he's like, marry my daughter, and I'm just like, bitch, Odysseus is your age. Like, what is, like, why is this fine? Why are you okay with that? That's so weird. That's just so weird. I know it was like a cultural thing or whatever back then, or I don't know, but like it's just weird. They just really exaggerated all of the distances. When we were talking about this in like my class, my professor was like, the way that the Greeks traveled by sea, you weren't ever supposed to be like so far into the like sea that you couldn't see any land. Like they would always stick close enough to the land that you could see land. And I'm just like, this is like they thought this was epic. Like, get some perspective. Just get some perspective. I know I'm talking to people who are literally dead now, and I'm sorry to drag them to hell for that, because they clearly have more problems seeing as they're dead. But I don't know, just like get like a little perspective. They call the Mediterranean or the Aegean or one of them, they call it the Boundless Sea, which is really funny. Because the Boundless Sea has boundaries. Also, Aya is a terrible name. It's the name of the island that Circe is on. It's such a bad name. It's just like 5 vowels in a row. Who came up with it? I don't know who's in charge of like naming islands in Greece like 3,000 years ago, but that is a bad name, and just for that I would like to like formally issue a complaint. I don't really know where or to who. I think that name just sucks. Is that a real island? Okay, the internet said it's not a real island, which is good, because if it were, that's such a terrible name to have for an island. We got to that and we were just like, why? So when Odysseus meets Circe, she like turns his crew into cattle, and Tiresias like tells him the same thing about like cattle that Circe does. And I'm just like, they spent all this time talking about how Odysseus is like incredibly clever, but like this is literally the most like obvious like foreshadowing that exists, and he's just like, I wonder where my crew could have gone. Odysseus, read between the lines. You don't even have to read between the lines, just read the lines. Just listen to what they're telling you and be like, oh, I know that Circe is a sorceress. Like maybe she's saying all this stuff about cattle because she turned my crew into cattle, and now I should do something. Also, Circe is like attracted to him. Everyone's attracted to him for some reason. I don't really know why, because like he doesn't seem like a good guy. I think everyone should be nice to each other, which is why I can't really get behind everyone being like, oh my god, Odysseus like killed all the guests in his house, what a great guy. Like, yeah, they were like scumbags, but he just committed murder. And everyone's like, oh my god, he's so cool. I don't get it. I guess it just goes to show like the difference in what the Greeks like considered heroism and like what we today consider heroism, because like Greek heroes were basically like good at something specific. Like Odysseus was good at tricking the hell out of people. Achilles was good at murder, and Ajax, famously named after dishwashing soap, was stronger than all of Greece. The Odyssey is like, I mean, I think it's a fun read. I think the story itself is like a big what the fuck, but like it's fun to read it and like analyze it and be like, hey, what were the Greeks up to? Because like, god, what a question. Like, what were they up to those days? Okay, I'm done talking now. This video was kind of a mess, but at least I look good. Bye.